And here we are, another day in the 5 years project. And today I wanted to share with you what I discovered. So basically, I wanted to discover more about my origins, and because I'm from Morocco, my family is also from there, and they follow Islam. So we are Muslims. But when you grow up in a specific family, the religion that they follow becomes automatically your religion. So if you grow up in a Christian family, you're expected to follow the same religion, Jews the same thing, and Muslims are not exception. So as I was growing up, I always had these questions about Islam. Why do we have to pray this amount of times? Why do we have to go to Mecca? Why do we have to give zakat? It's like a donation. Why do we have to do Ramadan? So as I grew up, I started asking questions, but unfortunately the answer was always the same. It's written in the Quran. Nothing bad about it, but you just want to get a sense, a purpose behind that question. So as part of this 5 years project, I think it's in my power to go out and look for the answer. So this is what I did. I went to the library and got me this book. It's called The Religion of Islam, a comprehensive discussion of the sources, principles, and practices of Islam. It's written by Maulana Muhammad Ali. I have to say, it's a very well written book, suggested if someone wants to understand more about Islam and he does not know how to read Arabic, same thing. But yeah, this book is great because it lays down all the 5 principles of Islam, and it gives a reasonable explanation of why they are the way they are. I just give you an example. For example, the question why Muslims are allowed 4 wives. The thing is, in the Quran is written that is suggested to have just 1 wife. But because during wartime, men were less, and obviously they were leaving behind them family and children, and very few of them were coming back from war. So it was recommended that if someone was coming back with his wife, might as well get a family to the older orphans. So in order to not leave children grow up not in a family house. So that man, he was allowed to take all the 3 women in order to give to those children a loving environment where to grow up. And in that case makes sense, but the original wedding or marriage contract will be just between a man and a woman. Another thing is why Ramadan keep falling in different time. Every year is basically 2 weeks less and less and less, basically until you conclude the year. And because it follows the lunar year, and until there, nothing new. But the reason why they follow the lunar year is because Islam was meant as a global religion, and they didn't want to give harder time to Muslims that they were in a specific area. For example, always summer. So let's say the majority of Muslims would be in the Middle East, for example. The reasonable thing would be to do it in winter. But when is winter in the Middle East, might be summer in Australia. So you will go penalize all the Australians that follow Islamic rules. So this is why they wanted to create a sense of sharing of the year, of the seasons around a specific amount of years. So every Muslim will experience summer, spring, autumn, and winter during Ramadan. And I find it like a beautiful outlooking question. It means that like Islam already had in perspective the ability to be anywhere in the world. And I find it like beautiful because most of the religions just think regionally or in that nation. They don't really think about the entire world. And because Muslim is considered actually a religion of the world because it incorporates all the other teaching from other religions, and it actually teaches to respect all the prophets from other religions because they are the same, carrying the message from Allah. Beautiful. And then another thing is praying 5 times. praying 5 times relies upon whatever thing you're doing during that day. Let's say you work in the office, you work in a ship, you work in the airport. It's great to have that time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of that day to dedicate to something bigger than you. It's almost as kind of meditation, where no matter if something is going very good or very bad, you always take the time to see things in perspective. Like, okay, I'm having a great day, but always say thank you to Allah. I'm having a bad day, always say thank you to Allah, because you don't know if that period of your life, what is meant for. Sometimes you're having a bad time because you have to learn what is coming after that bad time, and it's usually good times. But you cannot learn a lesson if you're always happy and striving. And another thing is, why going to Mecca? So Mecca is one of the pillars going to pilgrimage. But it's not like mandatory if you cannot afford it. If you can afford it, you have to go. And it's basically, as a communion of the world, the entire Muslim world have to go there. And I find it as a beautiful reasoning of all the races, ages, to be in one specific place, to understand how great is religion, where everyone is equal, everyone is wearing the same thing, and then we all gonna belong again to this immense force. I find it beautiful. The other one is zakat. Zakat is also giving a kind of donation of your monthly wages or income to charitable causes, to create a sense of equality in society, where not everyone is super rich or super poor. Is let's say a middle road between capitalism and communism. And then what else? And then all the misinformation that then happened after a couple of generations after the death of the Holy Prophet, mostly because people have to twist things during their reign, because they have to understand how to keep power and keep managing others in order to achieve their goal. And we all know, like, human nature is to, how can I say, get the most out of life. So try to make as much money as possible, living the best life. And if a mean of that is to twist a religious meaning, can do the trick, trust me, someone will do it. And this is what happened. This is why you have so many different perspectives of Islam. Some people they really force women to do things that are not even written in the book. For example, covering completely their head, hands. So a good explanation of this one, and the reason why it's not allowed, would be because most of the women that go to the pilgrimage are not allowed to cover their faces. So this one is a clear example of how things that are not considered part of Islam are never been part of Islam. Because if in the sacredest place for Muslims, women are not even allowed to cover their faces, means during your everyday life, you don't really need to cover your face. As long as, you carry yourself with dignity, I think men, women can wear wherever they want. But yeah, in general, this book has been eye-opening. I really like it. It gives a good perspective on the religion, even if you don't have a good grasp of Arabic language. And his author, Maulana Muhammad Ali, I have to say, he knows his stuff. He's a great writer. He's been dedicated to writing for a long time. There was his biography here, and he was born in 1874 in the Punjab, India. He's an academic record obtaining degrees in English and law by 1899, and he was also a very famous lawyer. So yes, he's a good man. Good stuff in his book. Until next time.